Hi everybody, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to do those videos with the intention to inspire you, to guide you in your own growth, in your own healing, so that you may transform your life and live happily. Don't you want to be happy? I just want to be happy. Today I want to talk about a very deep subject, something that I was asked about lately, that we all think about, which is why are those situations or obstacles in my life keep on showing up? I'm sure you, as have I, ask this questions or that question, contemplating what was happening to you. And it's a very beautiful question. I'm inspired to bring you in two different realms so that perhaps it inspires you onto your journey and creates a different perspective and reflection. So the two realms are as followed: psychological realm and the spiritual realm. Let's explore that together today, and just relax into it. I just recorded this in French and it was a long video, so let's just flow with it and see where that leads us. But if you are inspired to stick with me, go on a walk, have a tea, and just listen in, it'll be my pleasure. So here we go. Let's start with a story, and not a story, but a real life story of an aha moment. So, a long time ago. I don't remember when exactly, but I do remember I was at a spa. And I was between those cycles of, hot and cold and then rest. I was resting, reading a book, and just contemplating nature in front of me. And I had this moment of epiphany or aha moment when I realized that I was holding a belief that life was sending me those situations over and over again so that I could learn something out of it. And at that moment I realized, well, hold on a minute. Life is not sending anything to me or to you. Life is just life. Life is just unfolding. It has always done this for, billions of years, and it will continue to do that. It's not sending me or you specific situations, but I see through my own lenses or my glasses, according to my own experiences and beliefs. I see the life that's passing in front of me, or the situations that are in front of me, as I see them, because of just that. I have my own sets of experiences and beliefs that I superimpose on what's happening in front of me. The simplest way to rephrase this would be, imagine one situation that you're going through. I could go through the same thing, or somebody else could go through the same thing and not interact with it the same way you do. Same for me. I have situations in my life that have been obstacles and difficulties and struggles that you, for instance, would not see equally the same, because you don't have the same experiences and beliefs, and that's just it. That's a premise. That's a big premise for me. And now let's go into the psychological realm with this. So, yeah, that's a good segue. I see situations that are happening in my life through those lenses. Now, which lenses am I putting on is maybe the good questions we can ask ourselves. And for this, I'll bring you back to one of my friends and author, David Emerald. I just love David's work. He's a great human being, great author, great man, and I loved his book. It's among my top books. It's called The Power of TED. So what David did, by the way, it's his own personal story that he relates in the book. And he included in his own story tools, psychological tools, spiritual tools, a little bit of both, so that we may shift from our struggles and the situations that keep coming up into our lives. Shift from that to a much better place, like graduating from one year to another. And the way he did this was by focusing on a psychological model in the 60s, I think, with the Cartman triangle. David calls it the DDT, David, you're thinking about me, the dreaded drama triangle. So imagine a triangle. At the top, you got the victim. Here, you got a persecutor. And here, you got a rescuer. The situations you're going through, the difficulties you're going through right now. Could you possibly apply the lenses of either a victim, a persecutor, or a rescuer to it? If so, then most likely they're going to continue to show up in your life because you haven't yet mastered the lesson that you needed to master. You haven't learned what you need to learn out of them. We need to outgrow those situations and difficulties. And when we keep on playing in this dreaded trauma triangle of a victim, persecutor, rescuer, well, we're not outgrowing anything. We're just, in my own words, delving into this vicious cycle. And it keeps on coming back and coming back and coming back. So really, it's a beautiful opportunity that we have when we're able to spot that for ourselves and realize that we're playing in this dynamic. Now, what's the flip side of the dreaded drama triangle? Well, it's David calls it the TED, the empowerment dynamic, where you get also a triangle over here. But this time, at the top, we have creator, which is what you are. You have enormous power. You're a beautiful being. You're the most beautiful being on earth. You're a creator in your own ways. And you can be a challenger and a coach for yourself and others, right? When you start to play in this dynamic, welcoming the difficulties and the situations that are happening to you, working with them, healing from them, growing from them, transforming them, and something shifts. Your life changes. You transform. And so do the situations and the difficulties. They will either not be there anymore, or they will gradually be less intense. And eventually they're not going to be there. Because you stepped into a dynamic that is empowering, like the triangle is called, the empowerment dynamic. You're using all of the power that you have, the power that are coming from maybe also, the source of all things, if you believe in spirit and God, in life and universe. You're also using your own mind in a good way to learn the lessons that you need. You have a very powerful mind, right? We sent people to the moon. Come on, we put satellites into the orbit. We invented so many great things. Humans mind did that. So there's a highly intelligent functioning mind that you can tap into and use to help you. And as soon as you tap into this, you use the different tools, something shifts. Something shifts, and you transform those situations and difficulties that you're facing. Well, I'll pause there and say that was the psychological side of things that I wanted to explore. Now on to something that I'm highly passionate about, the spiritual realm. First of all, let's not get overexcited about the word spiritual. Spiritual is what you are. Let's start there. You are a spiritual being living in human experience. Spiritual is your self-growth. Really, that's what it is. My belief, my experience, as I delve into this world, is that let's move. You got that? I didn't. Let's talk about karma. My belief is that we come into this world as a soul, as in yet another incarnation. My body that I have right now, however it looks like, it's going to be here with me for 70, 80, 100 years old, maybe only 50, who knows, right? Once this body is no longer here, doesn't mean that I'm nothing, I can disappear and that's it. I don't believe so. I believe that I'm a soul that lives on, and right now I'm embodying this body, flesh and bone, but I might be onto 100th incarnation. There's souls that are very young and there are souls that are very old. If you are a young soul, you might be coming here, experiencing life and living those situations and difficulties that you have, because you're still in that phase of your evolution where you need to learn, you need to comprehend things, you need to, learn, comprehend, and start to shift and transform what you need to. If you're a much older soul, maybe there's going to be a little bit of that, but maybe your primary purpose for this incarnation is to help, serve, give back, teach, whatever. Now, there's this beautiful thing about karma where if we first gain this awareness or this consciousness that, okay, here I am, experiencing life and the situations that are in front of me, the difficulties that I'm dealing with, so that, let's pause there. First, acknowledge that, be conscious of that, let's be aware of this. That's huge. That's huge because then that allows you to relax into it a little bit more, to have a little bit more acceptance about what's going on for you, what you're facing. And that's a very, very important, crucial, fundamental thing in your own transformation. If you cannot feel it, if you cannot relax into it, accept it, it's going to be hard and hard and hard to graduate from it, overcome it, because you're always going to be fighting with it. And another thing I would say is, once you are aware, you're conscious of that, you're able to accept and relax into it, then the karma of action kicks in. What are you doing now? As simple as, how am I thinking about this situation? What am I feeling about this situation? What am I doing concretely, practically speaking? All of these elements will contribute to your karmic debt, let's say, now and for future lives. Let's not talk about your future life. Let's stick to the now, right? Because this is what you're working on. Well, let's put it bluntly. Right now, you have an opportunity to deal with the situations that you're presented in a fashion that you will outgrow them, that you will transform them. And every thought, emotion, actions that you take facing them will contribute to erasing your karmic debt, changing it now, so that you transform, and then you graduate, right? It's like, let's move on from high school to college. And then let's see what life has in store for us. But you have a beautiful opportunity now to be very conscious and aware and careful about how you interact with those situations and difficulties you're going through. And that's karma. All right, so we covered a lot, from how life just unfolds in your own lenses, and which triangle, which dynamic do you choose to step in? Are you a victim or are you a creator? And then we talked about karma. So I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration, perspective, and reflection to go on with your current situations and start to integrate what I just shared about. It might take a little bit of time. It's okay. There's no rush. Everything is unfolding just as it should, in the right timing for you. You're getting the lessons perfectly at the perfect time. And it's okay. And my invitation is to start doing your inner work around that, to heal, really, and to transform your life for the best. Just want to be happy, right? I just want to feel joy and be happy all the time. And it's possible. We can go there. I genuinely believe that. I'm not that guru, I'm not that master yet, but I tap into it, and it feels pretty good, and so can you. All right, well, thank you for sticking with me. I hope this was inspiring, and I'll link in the description box a few articles and videos that are recorded around the subject, also authors that could be inspiring for you, and I'm also inviting you to connect and reach out if you feel inspired and this is something you want to explore more. I'll be happy, actually I'll be delighted to be a guide for you, to help you in your own growth, in your own healing, so that you may transform your life for the better. Thank you. I love you. Many blessings. And I'll see you soon. All right. Ciao.